the night before the evening was a dawn, so pure, so bright, falling from the skies above into our darkened fate. The time has come, walking through this world we bear the secret of our lives, the light we share, caught in destiny we shine, for we are meant to be the star guardians, gone in a flash before our time, up in the sky together,
All right, everybody, welcome to the LAS draft. Week 4, we're back at it again. Should be an exciting set of games on the day. I'm Gundo, I'm going to be joined by Vor, and I'm ready to bring you guys an exciting set of days alongside my co-caster here. So if everybody's ready, we're just going to get straight on into it. But again, it is the week 4 of the LAS draft, and again, should be a good set of games on the day. Again, we have the Grizzlies versus the Guardians for Game 1. They did have to come in to fill in that stream spot on the night, as we had a forfeit earlier in the day in between those two teams. So I believe once everybody is ready, we are going to start, and then we'll get it down and ready to go. So as the teams get set up, we can just go a little bit into these two teams and what they got going for themselves. So Vor, you here with me?
Going on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm just excited to get another set of games on the day. Get straight on into it, and get some hype going for these two games because it is the Grizzlies with the Guardians. The Grizzlies are doing pretty hot over here in their group, doing pretty well for themselves, and the Guardians closer to the bottom of the standing, so they're going to be really looking for this win here against one of the top teams. But here we go, straight into the draft. Yeah, man. So, any thoughts on the pick? Any picks that might come out here?
I'm thinking there's gonna be a lot less focus on Morgana with the nerfs. I know Kit Kat's fairly decent on his Olaf. Might see that coming out here. Strong engage picks out of Mega J, Rel, Thresh.
Yeah,
Rel's taken out.
Yeah, you can already see those being taken away. Leona, and these guys are just flying straight through the bans, right? You see that Leona, Morgana, Trist, and over there Samira, Viego, Rel over there for the blue side on the Grizzlies. Jinx being hovered here for Cheeses. It's going to go down to RQ in the bot lane, so should be an interesting pick. Jinx is quite strong at the moment. I believe she's one of the top tier AD carries in the current meta, and considering she hasn't really gotten a lot of nerfs in the recent patches, she's still quite up there when it comes to those priority picks down there. So no surprise to me that she's gotten picked in this first rotation for the Grizzlies.
Definitely. Curious what Guardians are going to respond with here. Hopefully something to punish the immobility on the Jinx. Jhin range is nice. And then are they gonna finish?
Yeah,
okay, so it looks like they are gonna finish out the bot lane there.
Yeah, did opt in for that Swain there. So Swain, an interesting pick. I believe it is going to be support Swain. They can still flex it towards the mid lane for Baked Snake over there. So the Swain, we'll see where it ends up going. But Mega Jation is gonna maybe have that one in his pool here. But the Seraphine and Akali being opted in for. Over there for the Grizzlies, and Seraphine alongside the Jinx can be quite powerful. You have a lot of safety for her. You can still do a lot of damage. You have a decent gauge with your ultimate there. And the Akali pick there, I don't really like to see it in these first rotations, just because you like to save that late in the later stages of the draft, right? So you can get a counter pick or save that for the later stages. But if they're thinking it's going to get banned away, it's better to just pick it up now for the Grizzlies. But the Nunu being locked in there over there on the side of the Guardians, so Soft Worm going to be on that one this time around. I know he does like to play his tank engaged champion, so Nunu going to be just the champion for that fit that role for himself. So the Mordekaiser are being taken away as well, and the Yasuo being hovered, probably trying to take that one away from Baked Snake over here in the mid lane.
These first 3 picks out of Guardians look really strong to try and set something up to stop the Jinx from getting ahead in lane. Even potentially just shutting down the Akali here.
Yeah, something to just get him or stop the snowball a little earlier in the game, right? We'll see if they can get that done though, because these guys, they've been popping off in their games, right? They're 5-1 in the current standings, looking real good to start this draft split off, and it doesn't look like they're trying to slow down anytime soon. The only player I believe they had changed from this roster from the start of the draft is Chai T, who was in the AD carry position. So switching it up here for Arc Ryu. So Probably feeling that he's a better fit for the type of team that these guys are, and it's gonna be an interesting game because it's gonna be the first time seeing him with this roster of the Grizzlies, at least on stream, and the Wukong locked in over there for the Guardians, a pretty strong pick, honestly, in the top lane. So most likely gonna be going up there towards Undead King.
Definitely. So they're valuing either a mid counter pick or potential support flex here with the Swain over getting the priority top side.
Yeah, and, I think it's pretty smart. Not they're realizing they don't really need the prio top. That's why they're opting in here for the Malphite. They realize he's kind of just gonna get beat down at the early stages and just be one of those ultimate bots at the later stages. So for Cheeses, gonna be just what he wants to do, and it's actually gonna be a Nautilus being hovered here. We'll see if they end up locking it in. But that would be an interesting pick because that would mean the Seraphine would probably be going into the mid lane in the Akali top, and that's honestly, man, I don't know what's going on. I know Nautilus got some buffs in this last match, so we might even be seeing
Yeah,
seeing that
definitely. We'll see what Guardians want to respond with here.
Yeah, who is missing for them? It just looks like their mid lane is their last one available. Of course, the Swain Flex, like you said earlier, is still available. But we'll see if they end up locking that one in. For now, though, it is going to be the Galio hovered and locked in. So it is going to be the Swain going over there towards the mid lane. And the Wukong over there towards the top, most likely. So if they can get that in and done, they've kind of got themselves a pretty decent composition over here on the side of the Guardians. While they might not have the highest amount of DPS with that Jhin, I believe it is still quite a damage-heavy comp. You have a Wukong with Swain there to do a bunch of sustained DPS with it while he's sitting in his ultimate. And then you just have something like a Galio to support the rest of your team members there.
I think a lot of this game's going to matter on how well the Guardians can actually put pressure on the Jinx in the bot lane. It's going to be the only lane that's really in need of any kind of pressure. Galio's just going to be able to have Prio and roam on the Akali. Won't really have to deal with her, in a one-on-one sense as much. So it's definitely going to be a lot of action in the bot side. Just looking at the comps.
Yeah, these big engaged champions are down there to get in and dirty. Something so strong about that Galio, right, is that level 2, level 3 power spike that he does get. You can just burst down one of these carries at those early stages and secure yourself a lead like that, especially if you're taking Ignite down there for Megajation, and we'll see if he gets aggressive down there. I know this guy does like to play a little hyphy down there, so we'll see if he ends up coming out with that game plan for that bot lane. So it is going to be the Malphite up in for top, so I believe we know where everything is going now. Seraphine support, Nautilus jungle, Kali mid, and then the Jinx AD carry. So the Grizzlies rounding out their composition over there with that Nautilus jungle. And you got any thoughts on that, Vor?
I've been hearing things with the recent buffs that it's got decent ganks. I mean, many years ago, that's the role he did play before multiple nerfs and items being removed. So he's definitely got the ability to jungle. He's definitely got great ganks. I think every single piece of his kit has crowd control other than his W. So he's definitely going to be able to set up a lot here. Between him and the bot lane, as well as his mid lane just having the damage to put out, I think that it's a solid pick here, especially to go with the engage and kind of the ult wombo combo they've got going.
Yeah, it seems like they have a pretty secure lockdown for the enemy carries, and like we were talking about earlier, it's really just the Jhin and the Swain who's going to be those main sources of damage. So if they can't keep their carries alive on the side of the Guardian, it's going to be real hard to win a team fight here. So considering that they have an Akali to dive the backline, a Malphite as well, and then a Jinx alongside a Seraphine and Nautilus just to peel for her, it's going to be real hard to deal with the amount of CC the side of the Grizzlies have over here. So we'll see what they end up doing in this game. For now, we're knowing that it's actually going to be the Swain going down to support. So a little bit of a curveball thrown there from the side of the Guardians.
Yeah, I think Jhin Swain's going to be a strong lane into Jinx Seraphine. Both of them fairly squishy. Not the best health, not the best defensives until Seraphine has her W. So, you know, a Swain route into a Jin route is definitely going to be problematic for either of them that get caught by it. You know, you get hit by that 2 or 3 times in a row in a lane phase, you're probably going to get killed.
Yeah.
And that'll just start to be the snowball there. Also, a lot of setup for ganks in that bot lane with Jin, Swain. 2 roots. So Nunu, Galio, Wombos are definitely going to be something to look out for on the Grizzlies side of things.
Yeah, the Grizzlies going to have to be playing pretty safe at those early stages, right? Just to try and secure themselves a decent spot when it comes to the mid game and the later stages of the game, right? Because like you're talking about, that Wombo is pretty prevalent on the side of the Guardians over there, so the Grizzlies going to have to play that one safe on the bot side at the early stages. For now, though, it looks like they're doing what they wanted to play this game. You know, the Jinx Seraphine, very strong combo down there. Not to mention Stone Kit Kat opting in for that Nautilus. It was kind of a flex pick that came out here at the very end. I wasn't really sure where it was going to go, but considering it did get those E-buffs in 11.11, the current patch we are playing on, I'm going to be excited to see what it can do because I haven't seen a whole lot of it in my game so far. But it is going to be interesting to see what it can do against something like a Nunu. You know, Nunu, one of these heavy power farmers in the early stages of the game, not to mention the amount of disruption and CC this champion can provide is a lot to deal with when it comes to playing in some of these longer stage games. Not to mention that he has a lot of objective control with his Feast over there on his Q, and combo that with a Smite is going to be very hard to deal with when it comes to some of those objectives. So we'll see if the side of the Grizzlies can try and combat that or try and stop them from securing those early objectives.
What I'd really like to see here out of the Nunu is a little bit more of an aggressive pathing or playstyle here. Focus a little bit more on the invades, especially with multiple lanes that should be able to pull priority pretty easily. Just walk in there with, you know, 2 or 3 people, and if you don't outright kill the jungler, just take a camp or 2 and just build a lead up that way. I think that would be a really good game plan for the Nunu here.
Yeah, I agree completely. That would be pretty smart to do there for Soft Worm over there on that side. So we'll see if he can get that done. Galio into the Akali here, the melee matchup there. I'm not too familiar on those mid lane matchups to my extent, but I have a feeling that Akali will get an early push against the Galio if she can manage her energy well. But if she's not doing that, the Galio's going to have an easy time pushing in with those Winds of the War. So Metro Dragon going to have to do his best over there for the Grizzlies to try and just get the first move out of the mid lane, because we've seen how important you know, the movement around the map can be for those mid laners to support your jungler and secure yourself some early scuttle crowds. Because if you're not, you're going to get so far behind. And while the catch-up XP has changed in recent patches, I still believe that the power farming meta is still in very, very hard effect. So if Stone Kit Kat over there on the side of the Grizzlies gets too far behind, I believe he's just going to be Q-bot into, you know, getting blown up by the enemy carries. So we'll see if he can stay alive. But for now, about 15 seconds left in the delay. Any final thoughts you got there, Vor?
No, I'm definitely curious to see how these teams are going to play around which lanes and where their focus is going to be, for sure. Because that will definitely be there are a lot of options here.
Yeah, for sure, man. I agree. But for now, we are going to send it to a quick little pause. I am going to put the poll up there to vote for who you think will win. Will it be the Grizzlies? Will it be the Guardians? But we'll see. For now, we're going to send it out to a quick little break as we head into the pregame.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me and let's be free.
All right, everybody, we are back into this one straight off the bat. No delays here, no more of those delays, pesky delays. So we're straight back into it. Both teams ready to go, ready to get out there onto the map and get this one going. Again, everybody, we got the Grizzlies over here on the side, on the red side over here, and the Guardians over there on the blue. So it should be an interesting set of games on the day. The second ones coming around are the Dragons and the Lions for game 2, so make sure you stick around for those. But for now, we are going to be focused on the Grizzlies versus the Guardians. Over here on the blue side, we got the Grizzlies. Up there in the top lane, we got Cheeses in the jungle, Stone Kit Kat. In the mid lane, Metro Dragneel, Arc Ryu in the AD carry position alongside Overcomer. So pretty decent composition they've opted in for over there on that side. And for the red side, we got Undead King 0877 up there in the top lane, Softworm 666 in the jungle, HPR Baked Snake in the mid lane spots, and Mr. Game and Mega JTon over there in the AD carry plus support for the side of the Guardians.
So pretty basic 5-point start off here. Looks like we'll have the junglers starting opposite sides of the map here. They will be pretty safe on their own scuttles when they get to that point.
Yeah, you know that opting in for that split map can be a little bit hard for your weak side if he does end up getting, spam king, especially if that is the top lane, which looks like what the side of the Guardians are opting in for here. Looks like they're gonna try and leave Undead to just 1v1 Cheeses up there for a while. So we'll see how that matchup ends up going. I'm sure Wukong will do a decent job here. It doesn't do as well into some of these AP damage champions up there, considering his passive does give him some extra stats in the armor department. But here in the mid lane, we're seeing an early gank. We'll pull around to that one. Metro Dragneel trying to get away. Just uses the shuriken flip to get over the wall. Feeling just fine for himself. Over there on the top side, though, Jesus trying to trade back pretty decently against Undead King. Not feeling the pain just too much there. So we'll see how that top lane ends up playing out. But for now, Cheese is doing a great job and securing himself almost that entire first wave. Okay, on the bot side, though, a lot of damage going back here in between Overcomer and Arc Ryu. So, Overcomer getting real low there, while the side of the Grizzlies or Guardians is low as well. But here comes Softworm. He's going in there with the Nunu W in as well. It gets the first blood over there for Mr. Game. Jin going to be feeling real good after that one. 400 gold is going to be playing right into his lore.
That's that setup I was talking about there between the Swain and the Jin. Just easily can just roll a snowball down the entirety of the lane there to kill Arc Ryu there.
Yeah, and that setup, I think we're going to continue to see it, man. The Nunu, that's really where his strength is, these early ganks as well as being an early farmer, right? So considering that he already got that first gank off, I think he's going to be off to the races pretty easily. You can see a pretty decent CS lead against Stone Kit Kat as well. It's going to mean that he's going to be able to, secure himself some pretty decent advantages around the map. You can see he already picked up that bot side Scuttle Crab, and here he comes again into the mid lane. Metro Dragneel going to try to do his best to try and get away from this, but the W is going to miss from the Nunu. Snowball is not going to land, but Metro Dragneel going to have to blow his flash anyway, so not feeling too good after that one, not able to get in the right position. But on the top side, Stone Kit Kat is here against Undead King. The auto attack to root him in plays, but here is Cheese trying to get some extra damage down. Flash away from Undead King to stay alive up there on that top side. Right, in the mid lane though, it looks like an even matchup so far. Both champions are farming decently well, only 2 CS separating these guys. Over there for Undead King on the top side, only about 7 CS down. Did have to blow his flash early, so that one is going to be a return gank pattern there for the side of the Guardians. And Vor, what do you think about that top lane matchup, right? As it gets to the later stages of the game, who do you think is going to provide more utility for their team over there? Because right now it seems like Cheese is going to get the better of it again, because Stone Kit Kat is up here once again. Can he get away from this though? He's going to W away. He's that clone to try and get some build some space there. It does get away. So going back to that point, Vor, what do you think about these guys? And how do you think that top lane is going to go as the mid lane is getting solo killed here by Metro Dragon?
Fortunate death there in the mid lane. Akali choosing to take Ignite, not really being respected there by Baked Snake. But as far as the top lane goes, the Malphite, if he's not bullied out hard enough and left to his own devices, is eventually will just outscale the Wukong.
Right.
So if Wukong's not able to, find a teleport, which I believe he just used it actually to get to top lane, find a teleport, keep punishing that bot lane. It's gonna be a little tough for him to keep himself in the game here as far as being as relevant as this Malphite, who does have a 14-13 CS lead and a Bramble Vest already.
Oh, yep. And as you're talking about that Bramble Vest, there is a fight on the bot side. Mr. Game getting real low here. The Q is going to come out. The hook to pull him back in. Mr. Game getting real low. Stone Kit Kat already picking up another one on the bot side. And Overcomer flashing away to try to stay alive. Arc for you going to pick up another one down there on the bot side. So a 2-for-1 trade, or a 2-for-0 trade actually. So not really trading anything. 2 kills to the bot side for the Grizzlies. So they're feeling real good. You saw in that mid lane the solo kill earlier, going to secure themselves an advantage in the mid lane as well. So the whole bot side from the side of the Grizzlies looking real strong right now. While Cheeses is still just playing that facilitator role right now, staying alive, not getting too far behind against the Wukong.
Yeah, damage just not sticking on him right now from the Wukong.
Yeah, that early armor is doing quite a bit to help him out. So we are seeing another mid lane gank here. HPR, Baked Snake, and Soft Worm trying to take down Metro Dragneel, not wanting to get him in a good spot where he can. Sure can flip back, but he's going back in. He wants this one, but he's going to perfect execution away, not try and get any more hyphy there in the mid lane than he needs to, knowing his limits there on the champion. But here, once again, goes Soft Worm. Going to try a second gank onto the Akali here, but I don't really see a world where that gank works.
Oh, that snowball still hit.
Alright, Vor, so we saw that Cloud Dragon being taken earlier. Do you think we're going to see some early pressure or early, moves up here towards this top side for that Rift Herald? Do you think it's going to play a big factor in between these two teams and securing themselves a decent lead? Because right now it's pretty dead even.
Something that would be really good on the Guardian side here would be bot lane and top lane resetting here to swap, and then pressuring that rift as soon as it spawns. Since there isn't going to be a dragon for the next 3 or 4 minutes, there's no need to have that priority bot lane.
Yeah, I agree completely. Moving up your bot lane up there might help you out in securing that second objective. They already have that first Cloud Dragon, so like you're saying, it's not going to be spawning up for a while here. But Baked Snake in the mid lane trying to get hyphy once again. Metro Dragneel, barely any health left. The Winter Warrior is going to land the auto attack to finish it off. HPR Baked Snake picks up one back after getting solo killed earlier. Feeling pretty good still on the Galio. Not letting himself get bullied too hard, but Undead King might be in a bad spot here. The ultimate Unstoppable Force going in from Cheeses, trying to find some extra damage. The Q to slow him down even more. A couple more auto attacks will do it. Is he going to be able to find it? The flash to find it, and he goes in. Cheeses finding a solo kill against Wukong, and picking that Wukong to win the lane was your game plan here. So considering the fact that he's up 20 CS and just solo killed your Wukong, is going to be feeling pretty bad up there on that top side for the Guardian. So hopefully they can stem that bleeding a little bit on that top side. But for now, Cheese is winning that one handily.
Yeah, the Wukong just going to need to try and look for either jungle help or a solid freeze off of that wave. I don't think he actually can freeze that, but he's definitely not going to be able to look for much more in trade.
Oh, here's that CC chain you were talking about earlier in the game, or in the draft, Vor. You saw how much damage they were able to get onto Overcomer, just layering their CC on the side of the Guardians. But going back to that draft we were talking about, at the very early stages when when you were first seeing the champions come out, we were talking about how keeping Mr. Game and Mega Jaytion down there on the bot side alive is going to be important for them. That's their main source of damage. The Galio, Wukong, and Nunu here are just really to support the team, set up for these fights. But when your main damage champions are far behind like this, it is going to be harder. But for on the bot side, we are seeing that CC chain lined up once again. The 2-man charm landing onto the 2 members of the bot side or of the Guardians. The ult is going to be used by Soft Worm on the bot side. It's going to continue on fighting. Mega Jaytion and Baked Snake are here trying to look for some more. The taunt is going to come out to land. Baked Snake picks up one already. A little bit more is going to be looked for here. The ultimate comes out. Curtain call is open. Going to be looking for that last shot. Overcomer going to get sniped out by Mr. Game. and Stone Kit Kat can only watch as his team dies. Gets hooked in here by the Nautilus there. Now he's going to be staying in place here. Metro Dragon trying to make something happen here. The perfect execution comes out. The ultimate comes out. Ultra Mega Death Rocket turning them into pieces. A triple kill now for Metro Dragon. Going to continue the chase. Is he going to be able to find it? No, he's going to go down. Mr. Game as well going down, but he takes down Akali on the backside. Metro Dragon wanted that Quadra on the bot side, but for now it's still a 4 for 1 on the bot side.
Yeah, definitely overstayed there by the Guardians. Should have noticed after the killing the Jinx and the Malphite to just back off, take Dragon. It's up in, I think it was like 20 seconds off of spawning from that play. So definitely got greedy for the kills. They smelled blood in the water.
Yeah, man, these guys aren't the Sharks, so not gonna be able to use that smell of blood in the water to continue the chase there, but. For now, though, I think that fight turned out still decently well in the Guardians' favor. While they lose the Dragon, they are only about 1,000 gold behind, considering how bad the early stage of the game was going for them. Considering they're only about 1,000 gold behind is, pretty decent for themselves. But, of course, would have liked to see a little bit more restraint in that last play. As you were talking about, definitely got greedy. Over here still, no rotations over towards this Riftchild. Poor Shelly up there on the top side being abandoned. For now, though, Metro Dragneel is getting that mid lane priority once again. So up 20 CS and 4 kills to his name. Having that first item completed in the Night Harvester is going to mean you're going to have a decent amount of kill pressure onto any of the champions he really encounters. Because nobody is really building any MR just yet. So really going to be important for Metro Dragneel not to get shut down once again. Not give away that 300 gold to the enemy carries on the side of the Guardians.
Definitely. Say one good point on the Guardians end of things is that the Jhin is slightly ahead in items, having finished his mythic item before the Jinx does, so they can get some 2v2s here.
Okay, hold on. Second Metro Dragneel just bullying out Soft Worm over there. Looking real good on the Akali still, and Fake Snake can't do anything either. Just getting pulled back in by Stone Kit Kat. That hook is not going to mean anything. The Shuriken flip back in and get him to kill as well. Undead King might be going down here as well. Can't really do anything to get away. Flash over the wall to try and build some space in between the Malphite, but the chase is going to continue on the bot side though. The Encore is going to come out, going to pull back Mega JT on and Mr. Game. Are they going to be able to do anything at all? Right? Ryu is trying to continue the chase, throwing in those pot shots, those rockets, the fish, and Barrel is going to continue it on. Overcomer, the Ultra Mega Death Rock going to get him the double kill. That's going to be another set of kills over there on the bot side, and right now, the Guardians are bleeding out.
Definitely not what you want to see out of that bot lane trade there. Unfortunately, I believe a couple abilities missed there.
Yeah, just a couple of them. Arc Ryu, though. Trying to get away, build some space there against Soft Worm, but he can't really do anything just yet. The ultimate is going to be used, Absolute Zero, to pick him a big shutdown there. 500 gold into the back pocket of the Nunu. Ideally, not who you want it on, right? You want this gold on your carries, but nonetheless, it is gold back onto your team's, into your team's hands. Metro Dragneel here, still being very aggressive in his positioning. You can see him here, just clearing out the enemy wards here, having that control ward to get some vision there. But he is in a 1v3. Just going to use the Shuriken flip to get over the wall. 5-point strikes his way out as well. So the 4-man squad not going to really look for Metro Dragneel anymore. And again, going back to this board, when it comes to these Dragon scaling, you see it's going to be an Ocean Soul up and available for these two teams. Who do you think would benefit more in between these guys? And who do you think is going to have the advantage when it comes to it? As Mega JT is just getting destroyed down there. Who do you think is going to be more beneficial from that Ocean Soul?
I think both of these teams look fairly good with an Ocean Soul behind them. I think Guardians would benefit less so from it just because there is that Akali to burst them down.
Oh, yeah, I mean, she's trying to burst them down, but if she's getting shut down like that, giving away gold into the back pockets of the enemy team, it is going to be a little bit harder to get to the late game. But for now, Stone Kit Kat and Cheese are trying to dive up onto Undead King. For now, Stone Kit Kat getting those autos down, trying to find the last little bit of damage that he needs, but he is just a little bit unhealthy here. Undead King almost turning it around, but here is the Nunu. Here comes Soft Worm trying to continue the chase. Rose, and he turns that drift around with the Nunu, picking up another shutdown. So this is a very rich Yeti and Child combo up there on the top side. Soft Worm and Baked Snake here doing their best to try and get those last couple of kills. So they pick up a decent amount of gold, but the first tower is secured up there on the top side for the side of the Grizzlies.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fighting this game. But we got 20 seconds on the dragon. Curious to see how much attention's paid to this. This is only the second dragon for either team.
Yeah, only the second for either side. For now, though, both teams looking pretty decent at this 16-minute mark. Only about 3,000 gold lead for the side of the Grizzlies. While I'm saying only 3,000 gold, it is still about an item advantage for their team. And they're looking pretty decent at the 16-minute mark, right? We've seen the team fight wins. While they're giving away a couple of shutdowns, I believe if they fight 5v5, it is going to be a big team fight win for the side of. But hold that thought, because it is the team fight breaking out here. HPR's Baked Snake is trying to go in, try to stay alive. Metro Dragneo not able to flash over the wall. Soft Worm on the other side, though, trying to do his best. Arc Ryu just throwing in pot shots. Ultra Mega Death Rocket to get some extra damage down. That all started off by Overcomer landing that big encore onto 4. So with that, now the current call is going to be used, trying to continue the chase. Soft Worm is here to try and keep this fight going. Undead King still having that ultimate available. Is he going to be using Cyclone to get into this? For now, though, Cheese on the side here, trying to do his best. Does not have the Unstoppable Force just yet. Now it is just going to be back and available here. The Dragon is started now from the side of the Grizzlies. Can we see any more fight break out? Softworm trying to do his best to build some space in between him and his carries. Metro Dragneo trying to do his best to peel off the back line, but into the back line goes Cheeses. Baked Snake's going to be the first to go down. Now it's going to be the Jin as well. Softworm trying to stay alive as well, just trying to run away as best he can. That Snowball is going to give him some extra smooth speed, but is it enough? Undead King cannot find that kill onto Metro Dragneo. Now they're all just sitting ducks on the bot side, getting picked off one by one. Arc Rio picks up another kill. And this Kali and Jinx are definitely doing all the damage that they need to do in these team fights.
Another 2,000 gold to that deficit there, which still a lot of that is on the Kali.
Yeah.
And they're slowly building up a lead for the Jinx, which is going to be a huge problem once the tankier champions on the Guardians start getting to the point where the Akali cannot one-shot them.
Yeah, getting into that stage where they have some MR in their kits. For now, though, Metro Dragneo is trying to find a solo kill. Takes down Metro Mega JTon over there. Not able to stay alive at all. And this Swain pick, not really what he's needing so far in this game. For overall, though, I think Metro Dragneo just playing very, very well so far in this game. We saw him get a solo kill there and another one at the earlier stages of the game. So playing very loose here on the Kali, trying to find some more damage. Going to find that. Going to continue the chase. Perfect execution to follow. 5-point strike to find the extra damage that he needs. Going to do it over the wall once again to get away from him, knowing that the Nunu and Wukong might be in the wings waiting. So another kill there for Metro Dragneo, almost in a 1v3, making it happen there. And making it look real easy. Cheeses on the flank here, so they could look for a fight if they wanted to, and possibly for the Baron as it is spawning in about a minute 20, but they are going to go on to the Nunu here, trying to take him down as it is spawning up here. Into the backline goes Undead King, but he's doing 0 damage to the backline here. Arc Ryu just throwing in those pot shots, so much move speed being obtained there. Arc Ryu still very, very healthy here, and about no damage done to him from the backline. Nunu barely getting away as well as Undead King here. Soft Worm trying to do his best to do anything in that little bit of a skirmish, but really just does not have the stats he needs or the damage on the carries of his team to really do anything.
Definitely going to be a uphill battle here for the Guardians to deal with this Akali. Both teams want to...
Just hooking a wall there. This stone kick. Yeah, but as you were saying there, the Akali really going to be the difference maker so far in this game.
Both teams kind of want to dive in on the back line here, and it just looks like Akali's going to get it done so much quicker that there won't be much opportunity for the Guardians to get onto the Jinx, and there's definitely just not the damage right now coming from the Guardians.
Yeah, and you can, talking about damage there, Arc Ryu there, already completing up the Runes and the Kraken Slayer, really hitting that decent power spike that you want to hit there on the Jinx. to start fighting around some of these objectives. You can see a Beef Sword picked up as well, so most likely going to be opting in there for an Infinity Edge as her third item, and once she hits that, she's almost going to be that mega late game Jinx that we all know and love to play against. So Arc Ryu looking real good on that Jinx as well, and all of the Grizzlies, the rest of their members, right, the support, jungle and top laner there, Cheeses and Stone Kit Kat doing a great job frontlining, as well as Overcomer just doing a great job at just peeling them off of Arc Ryu. They're not letting any threat really come to that Jinx. So the damage output is always going to be very high if you have these big frontliners as well as an Enchanter support here in the Seraphine there to just keep them alive and, you know, not let Arc Ryu really get touched while anybody. And while all that's happening, you know, let Metro Dragneo just, you know, fight around the team fight, dive the back line, get the kills that he needs. So here he goes once again. He's going to look for it. He's going to ult in there using the perfect execution, but is not really in a good spot to do so. Just getting the Hero's entrance there out from the Galio. Metro Dragneo trying to build some space once again. Overcomer and Arc Ryu as well on the top side. Just trying to, you know, build some space in between the enemy team there. But they're still doing just fine. Looking for that kill, but weren't able to find it. Still, though, they're very far ahead still. 6,000 gold to their name. And 3 towers up around in this game.
Definitely just want to see the Guardians looking for...
Yeah, you're talking about looking here, but this might be the thing that they didn't want. It's getting turned around on them. Archer throwing in the pot shots into the back line, just being untouched completely. Undead King cannot do anything. Is he going to be able to find the Penta? Is going to continue the chase here. Already one's down, but Mega JTL can't do anything but watch. But it's going to be the ace here. Cheese is flashing in and take that one away from him. They didn't even give him the Quadra there, but they just really were looking for that team fight win. And now the Guardians are really looking at a bad spot here. 7,000 gold into the lead. Going to lose this Dragon once again in these 5 seconds, and they could even look to push down onto the mid-tier 2 as well. So the side of the Grizzlies are looking real good at the 22-minute mark. 26-10 is the scoreline. 2 Dragons up, make it 3 now. These guys are looking hot in this game. There's a reason why they've been 5-1 to start to split off. These guys are just consistent, right? They have Metro Dragneo in the mid lane, Stone Kit Kat to look for those early ganks and get his team in a good position to, you know, win the game. We casted them back in week 1, and we saw the potential, right? They had a big comeback win up in their first game. I forgot who it was against, but I know they had a big teamfight win. I believe it was against the Falcons, but they had that big, you know, comeback at the later stages of the game, and looks like this time around it is just going to be that clean snowball from start to finish.
I do believe there was a missed Baron there, though. I think
Yeah.
the Jinx could have soloed that Dragon while the rest of the team started the Baron. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that will affect much with the 7k gold lead and 4 minutes on a potential soul for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and that soul, we talked briefly about it earlier. You said either team were looking real good on it, but I guess we could talk about it in the current state of the game with the side of the Grizzlies having that one for themselves. Having a Jinx and a Seraphine, you know, who are, you know, very squishy, to be able to stay alive when you have that Ocean Dragon, Ocean Soul healing, as well as this big front line in between Stone Kit Kat and Cheeses, just, you know, able to tank the front of the damage. It is going to be very useful for themselves to, you know, if they have a long extended team fight, which they probably aren't considering the amount of damage they have already. They are going to be able to stay alive and stay healthy throughout it here, so we'll see how it gets to that, if it does get to that point. For now, though, looks like the side of the Grizzlies are just posturing around this Baron, getting some vision control around it as well. You can see all these control wards being placed here. That's about 3 on that top side alone, so definitely looking to take this one down very easily. Metro Dragneo just waiting in the flanks, knowing that his team doesn't really need his damage.
Definitely. Akali not the best Baron DPSer, so standing here looking to pick... So I think anybody aside from the Nunu here, the Akali can just one-shot.
Yep, and that's going to be Baron secured over there for the Grizzlies. That is going to be very useful for themselves to continue this push, right? I believe they could have taken down some of those tier 2s a little bit earlier. They didn't really need to, you know, force it just yet. They could have saved it. But nonetheless, it is going to mean they have this in their back pocket to continue the pushes that they've been having. And I think Softworm doing his best in this game so far. You can see those 5 kills to his name, but kind of been a little bit late to the plays when they do break out. But it is a little bit harder to get to them when the laners are, you know, having a little bit of a rougher time at the earlier stages there. And we saw it in the bot lane, we saw it in the top lane. So no surprises here that he's trying to just clean up and do his best he can. 120 CS, still doing a little bit better in the CS department against Stone Kit Kat, but his team overall still very, very far behind in this game. It'll be a little bit harder to try and come back here for the side of the Guardians. And going against the #1 team in the bracket over there, it is looking a little bit rough so far. Metro Dragneel is solo pushing, so they are opting in for the 1-3-1 positioning here in between the Malphite top, 3 jungle and bot lane duo in the mid lane, and then sending your Akali bot side to bring around 2 members down there to just try and secure yourselves as many towers as possible.
Definitely the correct play, I think, for the Grizzlies here. Malphite able to TP to any fight that breaks out, and Akali able to reasonably 1v1 anybody off of the Guardians or just escape anything more than that with Shroud and her ultimate.
And there's a reason, right, why they wanted this pick early, and it was just to try and secure themselves that advantage. Usually we see these Akalis pop off at the later stages as well, but she was popping off from minute 3, I believe, when she got that solo kill. So Metro Dragneel very comfortable on the champion, and we got to remember here, Vor, they picked this up in the first rotation. I was kind of criticizing it a little bit. I didn't think it was the best, but considering that Metro Dragneel is just so comfortable on this champion is what it seems, and considering he can carry very easily on it, it's looking like that they wanted this pick right from the very beginning for a reason, right? They knew it was going to help them get an advantage in the game. They knew it was going to help them secure the win here and continue this win streak that they're getting for themselves. So now the mid-tier mid inhibitor tower is being taken down. Inhibitor is going to be short to follow there. Metro Dragneel still continuing to push on the bot side. So 4-1 now for these two teams. Fake Snake trying to do his best to just hold the line there against that Akali here. But it looks like the 4-man squad is just going to walk under the tower here or just continue the chase here. Do something of the sorts. They still have a little bit of time left on that Baron. Not that much though. So we'll see what they end up doing here. The fight has not broken out just yet. And they still have that Ocean Soul healing them up very easily. Stone Kit Kat flashing in, looking for the hook. Does not find it. Dredge line does not land.
Yeah, at this point all it's going to take is one landed ability, and I think the Grizzlies will end this one out if they don't just go for the soul here.
Yeah, there goes that Baron, so not going to have that to continue to push, but the soul is now available, so after picking up those 2 inhibitors and 4 towers, they're going to be very, very rich here. You can see now 12,000 gold in the lead. Add on top of that an Ocean Soul, and it's pretty much lights out over here for the Guardians, so it's really going to take a miracle there from themselves to try and stay in this game, but for now it's looking very, very grim overall for the side of the Guardians.
That soul's coming through, a lot of items getting completed for the Grizzlies here for this final fight. I really don't see a path to victory here for the Guardians, unfortunately. It would have to be just a pick on the Akali that Grizzlies aren't ready for. Getting these shutdowns, even a kill on the Jinx for the 1k.
Yeah, it's really going to take miracle, right? And we'll see what they can get done. Overall, though, it's going to be a little bit rough if they can, try and do anything to, stay alive in this game. But it doesn't really look like it's looking good for them at this point. So we'll see what they can get done here. But that Baron is going to be spawning very shortly. Overall, though, both teams not giving up just yet. Both of them are looking pretty decent over there. For now, though, it looks like a top lane push is going to be sought out after for the side of the Grizzlies, continuing this push up here on the top side. In goes Cheese, is trying to look for that unstoppable force, finds it onto 1 already. They're trying to dive these towers here. The ultimate comes out, the encore to find 3, and just a little bit more damage would have taken out Undead King. It looks like he's burning down. A little bit more would have finished him off, but Softborn trying to do his best. Into the back line goes Metro Dragneel, trying to make this one happen. Does not find it just yet. A little bit more damage to Ignite to finish off. Mr. Game there, trying to do his best to stay alive. Can't do anything at all. Bank Snake going back in. Here comes Metro Dragneel once again. Zong used to keep him in the safe. Uses the Stace to get out of it. The ult's going to come out, so they are going to take him out, but it's not going to be anything else just yet. Metro Dragneel goes down, but it's only 1 so far. Cheese and the rest of his team. Arc Ryu is just untouched, tearing apart this team fight. Stone Kick finds 2, and that's going to be the team fight win and the game win for the side of the Grizzlies. After a 30-minute banger at the earlier stages, they just completely ran over the game after the 20-minute mark. So these guys looking hot, still going to continue on to 6-1. Looking real good to start off in week 4 of this draft, LAS draft. So looking pretty good so far for themselves are these guys, and I'm excited to see what they got coming up in the later stages of the draft.
Strong showing out of Metro Dragneel that game. And Arkryu not one to shy away from helping out with the victory there.
Yeah, Arkryu really popping off as well, looking real good on that Akali as well, or on the Jinx as well. Metro Dragneel alongside him, so those 2 carries really coming in clutch for their team, and looking good overall. So they did pick up this win here. It is going to be the Grizzlies looking real good to start off the first couple of weeks of the LAS draft here. And I will put up the poll here to vote for your player of the game for the Grizzlies as they were popping off. Most of that game, it's going to be hard to determine who it was, but if it was me choosing that one, I would give it to Metro Dragneel in that mid lane just for popping off so hard. So the poll is up now, so make sure you vote for who you think deserves that player of the game. Both teams coming out real hot in that earlier game, and you can see the damage charts here. About 20,000 done for Metro Dragneel and 27,000 done there for the Jinx. Looking real good in this game, and overall, I think they're going to continue this streak on. I don't see them slowing down anytime soon for the side of the Grizzlies. But for now, we are going to send it into a quick break as we get everything set up for the second game of the day. But again, everybody make sure you vote for who deserves that player of the game. We will be back in a few to give you that second game of the day, which is the Dragons versus... Oh, God, I'm forgetting right now. I'm blanking. It is the Dragons versus the Lions. So make sure you don't go anywhere. Come back for that second game of the day.
So hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, or we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of the world that we defy. Soaring of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're still here, ready for the second game of the day. But before we move on to that one, we are going to talk about our player of the game for this first one. It was the Grizzlies versus the Guardians. Grizzlies coming out on top in that one this time around. Metro Dragneel taking that player of the game away with a KDA of 11-4-5. Looking real good on that Akali pick so far. And we'll see what he can do in the coming weeks. But overall, looks real good for themselves. Both of them playing real hard in that game, and then the Grizzlies coming out on top overall. But for now, we are going to send it into the second game once we do have everybody ready. Everybody is in the game already looking like they want to get into this one, so it should be not too long as we are just ready to get into this one. But again, Grizzlies won this time around. I'm seeing it in chat over there. Overcomer, thank you for that information coming out as well. It was blurred out for themselves, but both the winners of the day will equal grade out today. The KDA there, 11-4-5 for Metro Dragneel once again. So we're looking real good on the Akali pick. Not to mention Ryu as well in that game on the Jinx, looking real good too. So the carries on the side of the Grizzlies looking real hot to start this season off, and looks like they're not going to slow down anytime soon. For now, though, we are just waiting for the second game to start. It is the Dragons versus the Lions for Game 2. And I'm excited what we're going to see out of these guys, because the Dragons currently undefeated on their side of the bracket, having Meliodas, Dallas, the Kumi, Juanito, Sol, and Moyushi over there on their side. So shouldn't be too long until we get into it. Again, I'm joined by Vor, and we're going to head straight into this draft. You there, Vor? You there with me?
Sir, I'm here.
All right, just making sure, man. But again, we are straight into this one. I believe there is a sub coming in today in the mid lane, so I will change that up shortly here. But again, the Dragons there looking pretty good to start the season off, and the Lions struggling a little bit to start this one off. I believe 1-5 or 2-4 is their current standings, but we'll see how they can do in this one against the top team right now on the other side of the bracket. So overall, over there on the blue side, the Dragons; on the red side, the Lions.
Ooh, Dragons focusing out. Jungle Band's here. 3 bans against Pig. They are sending him a message.
Yeah, not really wanting to let him play League of Legends this time around. We'll see what it comes down to here for the side of the Lions. We've seen Pig pop off in the past before. So considering that they're targeting him out, I'm not too surprised. Overall, though, they're going to have to try and do their best to get themselves a good jungle pick because we saw last game how important jungle could be. We saw Stone Kit Kat last time around, securing themselves big advantages around that map. We'll see what they can do. In this game, though, the Senatom Kench opted in there for the Lions, so wanting to play that bot lane real safe for the side of the Lions.
Yeah, Senatom Kench, I mean, I think it's a little risky picking it this early. There are ways to Dragons can just opt to pick a poke-oriented lane, and yep, that Sivir will definitely do it.
Sivir,
yeah, not gonna get to... Yeah, so if they opt for a fasting Senna here, which typically what you go for with the Senna Tom Kench, the Tom Kench is not going to be able to freely farm here without taking a lot of boomerangs to the face. Potentially Morgana bindings if that Morgana is not a jungle pick here.
Yeah, if that Morgana isn't jungle, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. They're going to have double spell shield on that bot side. Can be very safe when you are getting ganked and things like that, or even against the Senna here, but it is going to also give them a decent amount of lane priority on that bot side. So, I'm interested to see what they can do here with the picks that they've opted in for themselves. The Gnar now going to be locked in there. Probably going to be going up there towards Meliodas. I don't believe we're going to be seeing a Gnar mid lane today. Overall, though, both teams looking like they want to kind of rush through this draft. We're seeing the second phase of bans already coming out here.
Yeah. Wukong in response to the Gnar, pretty standard counter pick. We'll see how well these two players know the matchup. Though I would be surprised to see the Wukong not in a somewhat dominant position, although with how things went the last game, anything could happen. And there's always junglers in the game.
Yeah, the junglers are going to be very important this time around, right? We saw it last game. Nunu got some early ganks off. Didn't really work out for his team, but Stone Kit Kat over there on the Nautilus last game was kind of popping off, finding those early ganks up there towards the top side and in the bot lane. Again, the Gnar here, I'm going to be interested to see what it can do against something like this Wukong. Just because you have that range advantage can help you, but Wukong notorious for taking down some of these AD heavy range champions up there, like things like the Quinn or anything else like that can do can have a hard time into the Wukong. So considering he has that passive that allows him to get some extra armor, it is going to be harder for them to deal with that one again here though. The Lee Sin is being hovered. We'll see if Pig is going to lock that one in for himself, or it might even be a Lee Sin top or mid. So a three-way flex here if they opt in for that pick. For now though, Unholy Wolf just hovering that one right now.
Yeah, definitely. Huge stranglehold onto Pig here with Dragon's Draft. 5 jungler bans. Potentially the Diana could be a mid ban against Sam Shade here.
Yeah, and it doesn't really look like they were that affected by those jungle bans because they opted in for that Lee Sin anyway, so maybe they had that one planned from the beginning. But Rumble as well and Diana taking off the table is going to mean that jungle pool is getting smaller and smaller with not a whole lot of picks left to choose from here for the side of the Dragons. Of course, that Morgana can still be into that jungle. Has taken a little bit of the nerf hammer recently, getting that one off the table. So we'll see if it's still just as impactful here in this game as we've been seeing it. But I'm just going to, the Nautilus here being hovered once again, we could just see it flex as well like last time around.
So still really ambiguous with where Morgana and Nautilus are going, as both can jungle or support here.
Jungle or support, double flex here for the Dragons. Dallas, we've seen him pop off in top lane before. That man always, a factor in the games when it comes out here. And the Dragon squad is pretty stacked here. And opting in for the Veigar for the Kumi there in the mid lane is going to give them that AP damage to round out this composition. It's going to allow them to get some extra zone control around objectives as well. Considering they have the Gnar already, combo that with a Veigar, and the amount of CC you have in between this composition is insane. So Dragons here coming out hot in the draft phase so far. Really looking to, look for some early plays and look to get aggressive early.
Strong comp out of the Dragons, able to both engage off the backs of Nautilus and Sivir, as well as just play extremely defensive with Morgana and Veigar. A little bit of a split strategy there, but I think into what Lions have here, which is fairly defensive. Senna, Tahm Kench, Victor, very, sit back, do the damage champions.
Yeah, very.
I feel pretty comfortable as Dragons coming out of this draft, I would say.
Yeah, I agree completely. You have those two backline carries. You have a decent front line there to stand in front of it as well. In between the Gnar and Juanito Sol there on the Nautilus. Not to mention you have Meliodas with that safety as well in that spell shield there in the back line. So the stage is set. The picks are ready, and as we're loading into the draft phase, or into the client there, and we get all loaded up into the game, I guess we can talk a little bit more about how this game might play out, because for now it seems like the Dragons have opted in for this very CC heavy comp that has a decent amount of safety as well. The Lions over there opting in for a kind of a slower, more rounded out composition as well. Not to say that they don't have a decent amount of damage threats on their side, but the front line is definitely a little weaker on their side, in between only that Tahm Kench and the Wukong to really stand in front of their team. So here we go, straight into the draft. We're going to switch that one over real quick. But again, both teams, I think, got what they wanted in this the early phases of this draft, opting in for those early picks, the Morgana, the Senna, Tahm Kench. So the Lions obviously feeling comfortable on those champions to first round them. Not even say that Tahm Kench for the later stages. I don't believe he would have been banned out. You could opt in for something a little bit stronger in the jungle if that was the case, but opting in for that nonetheless. So you can see they're still feeling like they got what they wanted in this draft so far. And the Lions really going to be looking for the win here, considering that they're going against the top team on their side of the bracket here. 6-0 are the Dragons currently. Looking real good to start off this split as well. So it's going to be an interesting game overall. And I can't wait till they get into the game and start just throwing hands at each other.
Will be a Nautilus jungle here coming from Dallas. Curious to see how effective he makes this, if he can, put up similar results to Kit Kat from the last game.
Yeah, and Kit Kat did a pretty good job on that last time around. See if he can do something similar this time. Dallas, again, pretty mechanically gifted player in the draft. And from what I've seen him, very, very smart as well. Taking decent trades always. Not overextending a whole lot. So I want to see what he can do in this game on the Nautilus. Definitely a different role for him than I've seen him play in the past. I'm used to seeing him on these big carries, or opt in for things like the Jax, just to run over the game. But here, opting in for the Nautilus, so not really what I've seen him do a whole lot of. You can see Juanito Sol there just running through the AD carries, but he is going to lock in that Sivir. And Sivir here, we'll see what build they end up going towards. We've seen a whole lot of lethality Sivir come out in solo queue and things like that. So if it does end up coming out this game, I wouldn't be that surprised. But crit Sivir is always that late game insurance, right, to pump out damage at the later stage of the game. So we'll see what they end up opting in for.
I think the lethality build is going to be a lot more effective here. Just looking at the late game scaling, Veigar is going to take care of a lot of cleanup on that end, and just having the early game, mid game presence from a little bit more early lethality and all for the Sivir poke will be really strong here, especially since it will stick on most of the Lions here. I would say the Sen and the Tahm Kench can hold their own against it, but Victor, Lee Sin, Wukong are not going to be looking so healthy after a while, especially when posturing around dragons.
Yeah, going to be pretty hard to deal with around these objectives, right? You got that zone control with Veigar. You got more zone control with Nautilus, and then you have a Gnar who can always have that threat to flank you and just run over a team fight if he does get a big Gnar into the wall. And for the other side, though, it's really going to be up to Pig and Sation up there on the top side to get the team fights in the right spots. You got to get that Wukong flank and a Lee Sin kick to get that team fight on its way. And then you have a decent amount of safety in between that Tahm Kench and the two kind of immobile carries over there in between that Victor and Senna. So overall, I think a decent composition for the Lions, but it's a little bit harder to execute on. You don't have as much reliable CC as you do on the side of the Dragons.
Yeah, there's really not a lot to get in other than Wukong or Lee Sin getting in to pull off an Insec, and not a whole lot of targets for it. And if Moyushi on the Morgana is quick enough to react, he can actually stop a lot of that, and then the Lee Sin will just get piled on by the team of 5 that he's just, you know, flashed into. Or ward hopped into.
Ward hop kick. So we'll see if Pig's mechanics are on point tonight. It's going to be exciting to see if he can get those fat kicks off in this game. But I think both teams ready to get into this one just as much as we are. I think both sides really are just going to have to kind of play the early game kind of slow, considering that the champs they're playing, of course, Dragons over there on the bot side, going to look for those early pushes into the bot side, try to secure themselves some early plates, get that extra gold into the pockets of a Sivir, and you can really be in a good spot come those mid-game team fights. And not to mention, like we were talking about, the lethality build might be coming out as well, so that is quite a cheaper build there, about his items costing a couple hundred gold less than his crit counterparts. So going to be important to see if they're going to opt in for those builds, because they can. That extra gold can be useful to secure yourself some safety, buy things like a stopwatch or things like that. So we'll see what they end up doing on the side of the Dragons for that bot side. I believe it is just going to be early pushes left and right, though. So for now, though, we are just loading into the game. 40 seconds left on that timer until we are right into it.
Like early Grievous into a Serpent's Fang wouldn't even be awful to consider for the Sivir here.
Yeah, that shield cut there might be useful as well. You have to deal with that Tahm Kench. And like you said, the Grievous wounds as well can help you against that Senna and Lee Sin. So I think that would be the optimal play there for the side of the Lions over there. Only about 10 seconds here left until we get straight on into it. Again, the Dragons versus the Lions. It is going to be a banger of a game. I hope these guys come out hot and ready to rumble here. Both sides are very much ready to go in there and get things done. So here we go, straight into the game. We'll be back in a few to load you back in and let everything, play out as the game would regularly.
I saw you smile from across the bar. Yeah, she was pretty and so close but so far. She flipped her hair and I thought this can't be true. How does a man like me get someone like you? And then she looked at me and I was confused. Everyone here can't be the one that she'll choose. And I looked back and saw the spark in her eyes. This can't be real, my head's telling me lies. Just like that, you're coming closer to me. Come shake me, grab me, so I wake up from this dream. I can't breathe, come at me. I don't know if I can speak. Then she said, come with me, let's be free.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're right back into it again. We want to get this one going down and dirty. We got the Dragons over there on the blue side, the Lions over there on the red. Both teams going to be looking to come out hot this one. And the Dragons looking to continue their fat win streak that they have started off with themselves, 6-0 currently in the LAS draft over there on their side of the bracket. So looking real good to start this one off, and definitely going to be looking to continue this one around. So looks like they're opting in for a cheesy invade right now. Unholy Wolf still unaware, though. Is he going to get caught out? The auto is going to land. He's going to get destroyed. First blood over there for Moyushi on the support position in the bot lane. Again, though, we're going to run through the teams real quick. The Dragons over here on the blue side. Meliodas in the top lane playing Nard. Dallas in the jungle playing Nautilus. Nakumi in the mid lane playing Veigar, Juanito Sol, and Moyushi playing Sivir plus Morgana. Now, for the Lions over there on the red side, we got Seishin up there in the top lane. Pig, Boss Moo in the jungle playing Lee Sin. Sam Shade in the mid lane playing Victor. Unholy Wolf and Gas Cloud 2003 over there on the 80 carry and support playing Senna Tom Kench. And it looks like it's going to be a fasting Senna this time around.
Yeah, fasting Senna. A couple interesting summoner cell choices. The cleanse on the Victor, just not looking to get locked down by the Nautilus. Morgana binds. I mean, just kind of feeling forced to take it.
Yeah.
Really strong trade from the Wukong there.
Yeah, the Wukong, we were talking about this a little bit, how he's going to have a decent amount of priority at the earlier stages. His passive really going to do a whole lot to help him in that lane against the Gnar, and Meliodas isn't, spacing well against him. It's going to be hard to get those autos in and out, not to mention get those hyper procs to get that extra damage. So for now, though, the bot lane is looking like it's going to be pretty even here. The Senna going to give you a lot of range there to deal with those two ranged champions over there in between the Morgana and Sivir here. The level 2 is hit first for Juanito Sol, though, so going to be looking just fine on that bot side. Juanito Sol going to use that spell shield to get that mana back. Just going to be harvesting mana. Pretty much going to be having those free mana pots over there on the bot side when it does come to those roots coming out from Holy Wolf.
Yeah, just trying to put as much damage as he can on the Tom Kench there.
Oh, and the flash was blown by Sam Shade. Not wanting to even risk getting hooked there against the Nautilus. The dredge line was not even casted yet, so just playing it real safe there. The flash is going to go over the wall. Dallas looking for it, playing real aggressive on the Nautilus already. Pig is here, but he can't really do anything. The shield to try and keep him alive. A little bit more damage is going to do it. The burn there from Dallas will take him out from the red buff station here. Well, roaming down, though, so we'll see what ends up happening. He's looking for the kill here and not use anything just yet. And now Pig could be in a bad spot as well. Not going to be able to do anything just yet. Trying to stay alive, but Dallas is going to pick up a second kill in the mid lane station. Trying to turn one back around. Is going to find it over there. And he found one back for his team, who was starting to look real bad at the early stages, and it's already 3-1, almost 1,000 gold in the lead for the side of the Dragons.
Yeah. Station on the Wukong, they're not even losing a whole lot of CS. Maybe a wave before he catches this next one crashing into the tower. And Meliodas not going to be able to get a plate for that.
Yeah, Meliodas on the top side here. 18-13 is the CS lead right now, as Station is picking up that second turret. And pretty heads-up play there from Station to realize that Dallas is going to continue the chase and roams down to get a kill. While he couldn't really save his mid and jungler, he did opt in and get himself a kill there. He's only about 1 CS down now, so feeling real good still. What this is going to allow him to do is continue that push and roam style that he did opt in for there. Was able to help out his team when he did do that, so considering that Dallas got those 2 kills, it isn't going to be the best for the side of the Dragons, but nonetheless, Nautilus having those early on can be a problem as well, and can be a problem to deal with if he does start to get a little bit too tanky.
Yeah, Wukong now pulling ahead on CS there, and has double buffs. Gnar is not in a very strong position here.
Yeah, not really in the spot he wants to be right now against its Wukong. Not really losing the lane, but not really winning it either, so we'll see what Meliodas can do around the later stages, because right now it looks like he's just going to play it even in the lane. Station going to have definite priority in that lane, because you're talking about those double buffs. Going to help him out, especially with something like a Wukong who does like to gank around. So Gas Cloud and the Holy Wolf might look for a play up here on the bot side. It is Pig waiting in the wings. He is going to go in now. Is he going to look for it, though? I just left that. There he goes back in. Not able to find anything at all, though. Hundo Holy Wolf and Gas Cloud not in the good spot and not having the mana to really make that play happen. Here, though, is Dallas once again. Sam Shade can't really do anything but watch himself die. Dallas going to pick up his 3rd of the game. Looking really good on this Nautilus pick in the jungle so far, and doesn't look like he's going to stop anytime soon. Oh, the Kumi here might be in a bad spot here, but Pig Still only level 4, barely hitting that level 5 right there. Just doing a pretty decent job at trying to stay in this game as best he can, knowing he's behind against Dallas. Still keeping a decent amount of CS in his back pocket, 34 to 39. Only about a camp up is Dallas. But those 3 kills are really what's making the difference right now. About 1,500 gold lead for the side of the Dragon so far, and it looks like they're going to pick up this Mountain Dragon uncontested, with no real contest there from the side of the Lions there. And Dallas again here, just going to hold the wave here for Sam Shade, or for the Kumi, excuse me. So feeling just fine there. And again, just hitting this level 6 going to make those gank potentials even more dangerous.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
Yeah, Meliodas could be in a bad spot here, but Sation not able to really do anything there. Meliodas going to continue the chase here. Almost has the hyper proc. Going to get it. Sation is going to land it. Pig misses the Q. Not landing that resonating strike is going to mean that they can't really find the engage onto Meliodas, and he's going to be just fine on the top side. Some more action here, though. Pig is looking for this one, but he can't really get over the wall. Gonna dash a short distance, try to get away from Dallas, but here is the rest of the team. Pig gonna try and do his best to get away, trying to do his best to dodge out of it. Flashes away, but the hook's gonna land anyway. The hook plus the auto takes him out. Meliodas finds a kill on the top side, and Pig can't do anything but fly away, and just gets ripped a new one there on that top side jungle.
Yeah, that kill's definitely going to be a good help for Meliodas on the top side. Help kind of beat back the Wukong.
Oh, and you're talking about beating down the Wukong, and it looks like Meliodas wants to do just that. Solo kills the enemy top laner now. Sation can't do anything but get gnarred into the wall and auto to death. And now Meliodas is going to be able to secure himself a decent amount of plates. Juanito Sol and Moriushi trying to do their best to continue this bot lane push, trying to get themselves some plates as well. So Moriushi and Juanito Sol just, really playing that back foot, playing the weak side in this game.
You said weak side, but they have a 36 CS lead between the Sivir and the Tom Kench there.
Yeah, you wouldn't think about it, right? But the jungler has not been down there at all. Dallas has been playing around the map while letting his bot lane, just leaving them on that island, and talking about coming in here again. It's going to lock down Sam Shade. That ult is going to land as well, so going to take him out with that primordial burst from the Kumi, but it is going to be the shutdown obtained for Pig on that top side. They do get a little bit of gold back in their hands, but again, it's still about a 2,000 gold lead for the side of the Lions. Still feeling real good in this game, and doesn't look like they're going to slow down their pressure at all.
Yeah, no, the Dragon's bot lane just really heavy-handed with the matchup here, knowing the Tom Kench can't reasonably step up the farm without
just getting barreled down. And here goes Juanito Sol, though, trying to do his best to keep them at an arm's reach there. And Meliodas just fighting on the top side, so a lot of action, not a whole lot to talk about. Not a whole lot of time to talk about anything in this game. But Vor, what do you think is the potential for the side of the Lions to try and make a comeback in this game? Because right now it's just looking like a one-sided game, and it doesn't look like they can really stop anything.
I think they need to play more into the Wukong versus the Gnar matchup. It's a little tough now that the Gnar's up 2 kills, but I think just putting a little more focus on the top lane, especially when you have something like a Tom Kench with teleport, Senna's global ult, kind of use your presence out of bot lane, since you're not really going to have any kill potential on something like a Sivir Morgana. There's just no way to lock them down.
Yeah, just having all that safety between those champions is going to be very hard, but in the midst of all of this, we're seeing Pig go into that Rift Herald. He's going to get themselves an advantage. So, you were talking about using that top lane. You think that Rift Herald would be best used up there, or possibly saving it for something like a fight later on?
Dragon coming up in 45 seconds. I think using it in the mid or the top side would be fine. It's going to be hard to use it bot side without any way to reliably shove the wave. Although, wave crashing top.
And we'll see if they can get that done for the side of the Lions over there. At least they have an objective back in their hands, right? They did not lose that one as well. And Juanito Solo kind of in a 1v2 here, trying to continue this chase out. They're just going to throw in those ricochets in and out of the fight. Going to, get Gas Cloud real low. And you can see that mana bar has pretty much been low the entire game. And it's just coming out from those tongue lashes, trying to secure themselves some extra CS there. So not looking too good on this Tahm Kench and Senna so far, or the side of the Lions. But Big Pig just over here hovering towards Meliodas. Here comes Dallas, though. They are going to lock him down. The ult is going to come out to try and keep him alive, but they can't really do anything to keep him in place. Pig going to go down first, possibly. Stays alive a little longer, but he can't do anything at all. Dallas going to continue this at all as well, and Meliodas picks up a kill as well, so 2 for 0 up there on the top side for the side of the Dragons, and this bleeding is just going to continue on and on. Juanito Soul and Moyushi trying to continue the chase on the Gas Cloud as well. That Dark Binding will be up shortly. It is going to go wide, but Gas Cloud and Unholy Wolf trying to continue the chase. They can't really do anything against these guys, and Moyushi and Juanito Soul force that flash and the rest of the ults out of that boss side from the Lions. In the mid lane, the Kumi, though, getting real low. Almost gets soloed there by Sam Shade. Call that a solo dolo if he did get taken out, but is just fine for now. You can see that Mana Mew completed there for the Sivir, so she's going to be on her way towards, I believe, more of that lethality build already.
Something here that would probably be really strong out of the Sivir is to definitely rush that Serpent's Fang. I think that'll give them a lot of kill pressure on the Tahm Kench if they ever decide to all in. That thick skin just won't do anything at that point.
Yeah, that thick skin will be completely useless, as you're saying. Unholy Wolf can't really do anything in this lane. Not really sure what he's building here, but I think he'll just try and opt in for a little bit extra damage against these guys, because right now his damage isn't stinking at all, and he's not really able to support Gas Cloud in this lane at all. And you can see almost getting solo killed there with just one Q there, one spinning boomerang there from Juanito Soul. And almost gets solo killed there, but turret plating is going to be coming out very shortly here in 30 seconds. And Juanito Soul and Moyushi just going to try and secure themselves the last couple that they can.
It's absolutely brutal.
Yeah, man, it just hurts to watch seeing these guys get blasted over here on the bot side. Another 80 goal goes over there towards the bot side of the Dragons, and I think it's just going to be a slow and steady one here for the Dragons in this game. They haven't really been, making these big 5v5 plays happen. They do have 9 kills, right? But it hasn't been like that super team fight heavy game so far. It's really just solo kills and some successful games coming out from Dallas already in this game. So the chase is going to continue here. We might be seeing some action. Juanito Soul wanting to get aggressive there. The ult has not been used just yet. Only Juanito Soul using his on the hunt there to continue the chase. Gas Cloud could be in a bad spot here. And he's going to be the first to go down on the top side, though. Dallas and Meliodas were looking for that fight, but we're not able to win it against that 3-man squad of the Lions. So while they go down on the top side, Unholy Wolf and Moyushi are going to try to do their best to continue to get some extra pressure. And the Kumi is just going to blow him up.
2 for 3 on the extended trade there for the Dragons. Not bad at all. Along with a tower in the bot side, and I believe they did get that tower top. Yeah, they did. Yeah, so Dragons just in a really commanding position here. Would love to see a lane swap here between the bot and the mid lane. Just let the Veigar farm side waves while Sivir does Sivir things in the mid lane to shove.
Yeah, while Sivir, gets those pushes off in the mid lane. Leandri's now completed as well for Morgana, so she's going to be doing a lot more damage than I think the enemy team is going to be suspecting. The Kumi here could be in a bad spot here. The Resonating Strike is going to land. A little bit extra damage is going to finish him off. Shut down there, going over towards Pig. They find a kill on the bot side against the Kumi.
Just a little bit overstaying there for that wave. I do believe he did get the cleanse out of the Victor.
Okay, over here on the top side, Meliodas trying to continue this one off. Sation can't really do anything except get barreled down by Meliodas. That big Gnar just going to take him out. And he finds another solo kill on the top side. And while Sation might have that Divine Thunder, it's just not doing enough damage to, get Meliodas' health bar down enough. So we just saw it there again. Wukong not being the pick so far on the day. Hasn't looked the best so far in between the two games we've been seeing. In the mid lane, though, some pushes are going to continue. Sam Shade hasn't really been able to do a whole lot on this Victor pick so far. Juanito Sol and Moyushi just going to continue their pushing power towards this mid lane because seems like that's what's been working for them. So mid tier 2 or mid tier 1 is going to have a tough time staying alive here against these two guys.
1-3-1 for the Dragons.
And Sation just trying to stem the bleeding a little bit, stop the bleeding against Meliodas, and he's going to continue the chase here, but Meliodas is still very much stronger than him. The Stridebreaker in to try and find a little bit extra damage. The auto to finish him off. Meliodas picking up another one on the top side, so another solo kill for himself. The Resonating Strike plus Flash, so Pick gets another one back for himself, but all it is right now is the shutdown is going into the Lee Sin, so unless Pick can 1v9 this one to end it out, I don't really see a chance of the side of the Lions coming back into this one at all. Unholy Wolf trying to do his best to keep his support alive there, but Gas Cloud just getting obliterated as well.
40 CS in the top lane, 5 kills. It's gonna be pretty tough. 40 CS lead.
Yeah, it's gonna be real hard to do anything here. Dallas here using the Rift Herald now, so they're going to keep Sam Shade in the mid lane. Can't do anything except watch himself die. Dallas going to use the ultimate now to continue the chase onward. Station going to go down, and Dallas stays alive crucially. So that Dragon is going to be up for the taking. They're going to continue this push here with the Rift Herald, so it's going to be up to them to try and stop that one from crashing, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to.
Dragon is up. We do see dragons beginning to make their way down there.
Yeah, Meliodas and Moyushi going to start that one up. And that Dustblade is completed now for Juanito Sol, so not feeling too bad having that one in his back pocket as well. So once he does get that Murra mana, going to be very, very strong and very hard to deal with considering all that extra AD he's going to have. Not to mention that extra mana that he's going to possess to help him continue spamming out his spells. So looking real good so far on the Saber pick, and it's just been kind of lights out so far in this game. 17-6 is the scoreline, 9,000 gold in the lead. While it hasn't been the most action heavy, it's just been kind of the Dragons rolling over the Lions so far in this one, and it's a little sad to see. Just considering there's not really a whole lot that they can do to stop this, just due to the amount of advantages that the Dragons secured themselves early on, and it's just gonna continue from here, right? The Baron is spawning in about 10 seconds. They could very well look to force it and just look for the fight, but the Kumi, if this happens to him here, it could just stop that from happening at all. The Kumi might be getting caught out here. Resonating Strike is in the land. They're trying to give away that kill over towards Sam Shade, so that is a kill over to the Victor. Could just mean that he gets a little bit extra into his back pocket. Juanito Sol and Moyushi here in the mid lane, though, can continue the push here. Going to try and get this tower down. And going to play it safe, though. Going to back up a little bit. A little bit more would have done it. Juanito Sol, though, could be in a bad spot here. Going to continue in. Trying to do his best to stay alive here. Juanito Sol going to flash away. Moyushi now going into the stasis, trying to stay alive, and he does. So they pick up 1 for nothing in the mid lane there. So it is a 1-for-1 trade within that last minute and a half of the game. Overall, though, I think the Dragons are feeling just fine still. You can see Juanito Sol playing super aggressive on that Sivir. Pig is just trying to do his best to push him away, but Juanito Sol is getting lowered down now, so I have to play a little bit safer here. On the top side, though, Dallas and Meliodas are continuing the chase. Juanito Sol trying to stay alive, but he's going to get shut down now. 1,000 gold into the back hands of Sam Shade, and now Moyushi might be going down as well. Gets shut down, so a lot of gold into the hands of the Victor, and that's exactly who you want your money on. Meliodas gonna get caught out here on the top side. Can't do anything. Gets kicked away. Followed in there, Dallas, and gonna continue to help out his top laner there, but he gets gonna not be able to do anything. He's very tanky here, so not really gonna go down that easily. Takumi is trying to support him as best he can, but Dallas is just gonna get destroyed again. Another shutdown there for the victor. So all this gold is getting funneled into this guy, and I think it's about 3,000 gold he's gonna back now with. So he's gonna be very, very strong after that back, and he gets back onto the map.
Yeah, that's going to finish his Void Staff and start what appears to be a Death Cap.
Yeah, gonna be looking for that Death Cap, so that extra AP is gonna be very, very useful on him. But not only that, those extra kills in the CS are gonna allow him to finish up his last few upgrades on his abilities. So he's gonna have that Chaos Storm now upgraded, I believe. So looking pretty good on that victor so far. You can see here, yeah, they are upgraded so far. Samshade just gonna look to get aggressive here, but gonna get blown up. So all that cold funneled in there, just for him to go down there. Primordial Burst gonna blow him up into tiny little minuscule pieces, and now the 3-man squad from the Dragons are gonna continue to push here. See if they can get this one down and dusted. Going to continue to push here onto the mid-tier mid inhibitor tower. The Kumi going to get locked up here. Pictic is in the back line. Moriushi is not going to be able to do much just yet. Juanito Soul trying to do his best to continue the kite out. He's going to find one kill, but Gas Cloud 2003 cannot do anything but to finish him off. So there's a 1-for-1 or 1-for-2 trade overall with the extended play, but Juanito Soul stays alive crucially to continue on in this one.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Dragons just go for Baron there after killing the victor, but...
Oh, Meliodas might be caught out here. He's going to try and look for the kill, but he doesn't have enough damage just yet. Now he's going to be able to find that one onto Pig, but Meliodas is going to almost have the Rage Bar built up, trying to build some space, and not going to even let Sation get in a spot where he can auto him down. And now Gas Cloud going to maybe continue the chase here, but it looks like he's just going to watch the Gnar back away. And the flash was used to try and stop the back, but it is just going to be a wasted flash there. So not going to have that ability up for a save later on in the game. Map state looking pretty grim here for the side of the Lions. They got a lot of gold back, so, you know, shutting down the enemy team there was pretty good for themselves, but that Dragon is now available. That's going to be an easy Ocean Soul picked up for themselves. Could even look to go towards that Baron as well. So in these last few minutes, we might be seeing the game end here. Free Ocean Soul there, no contest from the side of the Lions. And all they can really do is watch their base continue to bleed, as well as these objectives continue to be taken off the map. And here goes Dallas once again, using that ultimate to lock down the enemy members. Unholy Wolf going to get destroyed there. Gas Cloud can do nothing but watch his AD carry die as well. And Dallas going to be the one to start that one off. And this could be either a Baron or a continued inhibitor push there to try and find this last little bit that they need in this game to end this one out. Dallas here, very, very tanky still, having the Deadmans and Sunfire. The only one who can really do damage to him is Samshade, who is on the spot side here, trying to take down the Kumi. And the Kumi is not that strong here, still getting blown up there from the victor. So it's going to be a decent amount of gold back into his pockets as well. But Samshade still feeling pretty good by himself. Juanito Soul is here on the bot side, and here's Meliodas as well. Flash in to try and find the kill. He's going to find it at the end of the day. Juanito Soul might be going down, but he's going to dodge out of that last tower shot to keep himself alive. Alright, let's say a miracle happens, right? And the Lions are able to get the setup around a team fight that they want. In what way do you think they still come out on top after, you know, being this far behind? I don't really think we're even going to get to speculate here, as Meliodas is going to pick up another kill onto Gas Cloud. Mid laner's still down here. The Kumi's in here to try and continue the push. There's going to be a second inhibitor on the bot side, and they could very well look for the end here. Any, you know, thoughts you have on this little bit of end of the game that we're going to see here more?
There is potential for a Fountain Dead that goes horribly wrong here.
Yeah, possibly, but If you're getting just kind of destroyed at this state of the game, Dallas going to continue the chase here. Pig can't do anything except to watch his 80 carry die as well. Juanito Sol trying to get some space. Going to get burned down by the Chaos Storm, but it's barely going to stay alive there. Moyushi trying to do his best. That Ocean Soul keeping him alive at the end of that. And they are, kind of playing with fire here. They are quite low, but there's really nothing that the side of the Lions can do to keep this one alive. The last fight is going to break out here. We'll see what ends up happening. Tom Genn just pulled back in. Gas Cloud's going to get real low. He's going to get taken down. Primordial Burst comes out to take him out. Pig trying to do his best that he can, but that's going to be the game. That's going to be the Dragons continuing their win streak, 7-0. And it doesn't look like you're going to be stopping anytime soon here. Looking real good so far in this game and in the LAS draft. And it doesn't look like they're going to slow down at all. So, the Dragons coming up hot and picking up another win for themselves. These guys have continued to impress me. Looking real good to start off the splits. And the 7-0 now. So, we're going to go to we're going to let the poll play out. And you can stay with me, Vor, but we're just going to do some last little analysis of the game there in the analyst desk and talk about it a little bit more while we wait for that poll to load in. And honestly, what were your closing thoughts on that game there? Did you think that the side of the Lions really had a chance after being down behind so far in that game?
I would say probably after the Gnar started solo killing the Wukong, the game was in a pretty bad spot. You already have a bad matchup in the bot lane. The mid lane matchup was fairly even, but the early gank didn't go too well for them, so it put that in a stalemate, I would say. And then just with the Gnar being able to split push the top lane with impunity and no way to respond to the bot lane push and poke from the Sivir and Morgana, yeah, the game was really hard to hold because there's just always going to be bot prio for the Dragons, and then Ocean Soul coming out is probably just too much.
Yeah, the Ocean Soul to add on top of all the bleeding that they already had, it was just, again, too much to deal with there. And you can see the damage charts here, 29,000 damage there for the Sivir. Just doing a whole lot of damage here. The second closest was the Gnar and the Victor over there on the other sides. And that bot lane only doing about 8,000 damage total in between the two of them. So I don't know if the Senna Tom Kench was the play here, but they obviously felt comfortable on it. So opting in for it early on, and it just wasn't what they needed this time around. So for the Lions, I'm going to be looking for them to try and switch up their picks a little bit, maybe play something a little bit more aggressive on that bot side, because it didn't seem like this kind of sit back and farm really worked out for them. But again, the votes are up. Make sure you vote for your player of the game of this one. It is going to be up for a little bit, but as we are loading into it and waiting for it to come up, we can just talk a little bit more about the damage and this what these guys were able to do in this game. And we can see that the KDAs there, Juanito Soul, 8-1-6 there, looking real good on that Sivir. And there's a reason why they wanted that one early on as well, alongside the Morgana. They knew they could win throughout that bot lane, and we saw it very early on, right? We saw all those early platings being taken, and they weren't even the ones being played around, right? It was that Gnar on the top side that was the main focus for the side of the Dragons, and then helping out the Veigar as well there to get some extra kills and stuff. So Juanito Soul and Moishi playing very well on that bot side, and definitely props to them for coming out on top. You see that 220 CS as well, compared only to about 100 in between the two champions for Unholy Wolf and Gas Cloud. So definitely playing very well, very, very well are the Dragons, and I'm looking forward to see how they continue. And I believe, Juanito Soul corrected me there, 8-0. I forgot to count the earlier game of the day. So continuing that undefeated streak, looking real hot at the early stages of this LAS draft, and doesn't look like they're going to slow down here at all. So with that being said, Vor, do you have any closing thoughts on this game or on the day, maybe from the first game or the second? Anything to talk about there?
That win rate for the Nautilus Jungle coming out of patch 11.11, so curious if we'll see more coming out of that, or if any other teams picked it tonight.
Yeah, we'll see if any other teams want to opt in for that one. It looked like it was pretty strong, right? We saw Dallas do a decent amount of it early on, and Meliodas already, kind of leading the leaderboard here with the vote. But I think overall these guys, came out hot, right? And they're continuing that win streak, right? It's gonna mean a lot, and it's gonna be hard to deal with them coming to the later stages of, these later weeks as well as playoffs. Like, how do you stop these guys if they're just winning every single lane by themselves? The only one that really had a chance up there was Station on the top side, and then it ended up just going completely haywire. Not to mention Dallas this time around, coming in hot on that Nautilus pick as well, and was able to secure his team early advantages very early on here. So, not too much time left until it does get off into the table. But overall, I think both teams, the Lions, I would have liked to see a little bit more of a game plan there with that Senna. Maybe just hard camp it if it was going to be, the sole, position there. And, the sub here from the side of the Lions coming in pretty good here. Sam Shade, doing the most damage on his team, 20,000. And we saw him in those later fights there, picked up a bunch of shutdowns, tried to do his best to keep that game, from being completely one-sided there. So props to him on the side of the Lions as well. So I think he did a pretty decent job on that Victor pick. But in the later weeks, I'd like to see a little bit better of a game plan coming into it. They didn't really have an answer there on the bot side for the side of the Dragons. So Lions, that's my one point where I'd like to see them improve. But the Dragons right now are just insanely good. So it's going to be very hard for anybody to deal with them coming into the later weeks. Alrighty, and alright, so that is the end of the poll. It is finished, and Meliodas takes away your player of the game with 50% of 40% of the votes there. So he did end up with a KDA of 5, 4, and 12. Looking real good on that Gnar as well. So, he had a couple of solo kills up there on the top side. In the later stages, he had some nice ultimates to, lock down some of the enemy team members. And overall, I think he just, everybody on the side of the Dragons played extremely well. So, with that being said, knowing that we got our player of the game, make sure you join us in the rest of the week for the rest of the games. We got the LRS tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. And if you're playing in that, good luck. I'd like to see what you guys can do on the day tomorrow. But for now, I've been Gundo, joined by Vordaddy, and we're going to be sending it off to end this one off on the day. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all next week and during the rest of the week. Thank you.